New Break TCG. It's been a while. Been pretty busy lately. Haven't posted nothing for a while, a couple months. Um, we were trying to get a house for a while. That kind of fell through, so we were busy with that. Um, we also got a pet turtle. So let me show y'all that. Here's our pet turtle. His name's T Diddy. It's a boy. Just getting some breath right there. But yeah, so anyway, so I've been busy with a couple things, but I'm back. I didn't post any. I don't think I posted any Set 7 stuff. Honestly, it was a real bland format for me. Didn't really enjoy it. I played green hybrids, but you know, overall, I didn't really care for the format. Set 8 and EX2 is actually a really, really fun format. Very versatile. A lot of decks going around right now, especially at my locals. We got a lot of people making meme decks or you know, just decks that aren't really in the meta, like for the big regionals and online tournaments we've been having. It's just kind of nice to see a bunch of different things, and this is actually one of them. A friend at my locals got me into this deck. It's really, really fun. I didn't think I was going to play black again until Dark Knight support came out for Set 10. I was mistaken. So, this is a Justimon build with some cyborg stuff. And let's dive into the deck profile. Get about... Excuse me. It's been a little while, but of course, what hasn't changed is me recording these videos late at night. So anyway, our babies is the Hotmon from EX2. Inheritable, your turn. While you have a black Tamer, this Digimon gets 1k. We have a lot of Tamers, so this usually goes off most of the time because we play a lot of Tamers in this deck. At least a lot for black. You know, it's not a hybrid deck. I know hybrids play a lot of Tamers. This is a lot of Tamers for a black deck. So since we play a lot of Tamers, we play 4 of the Monodramon. And it has a on-play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add all black Tamers to your hand. So as I said, we play a lot of Tamers. So playing this for cost, we get to look at the top 4. Hopefully we see 1 to 2 Tamers, so it's not a whiff, but it does whiff. You know, that's the RNG of the situation. But it's really nice to reveal 4 and grab 2 Tamers, or sometimes it's actually happened where I've grabbed 3 off of the top 4. But this searches our Tamers. Next we have 4 Hagurumon. This is kind of just for some filtration, draw power. If we have a card in our hand we don't want, that's a cyborg or a machine, we can pitch it on play and draw 2. So that kind of helps us filter out things that we don't need for things that we end up needing. There are a lot of machines and cyborgs in this deck, so pitching a cyborg or a machine usually isn't a problem. Because most of the deck, if not 90% of the deck, 85% of the deck is a cyborg or a machine. Now lastly, this is the only thing I would really change in the deck. I don't have Sonorizamons, the promo, that give piercing if you have 13k or more if it's on the field, or it gives security attack +1 if it's 13k or more as an inheritable. I used to have a playset. I sold them away with my X-Antibody deck because I didn't think I'd play black again. I was wrong. And now this is just a fun deck, so I kind of really don't want to pick them up. So in their place, I run 4 Chikurimon. But these, if you have them or can afford them, this would be definitely Sonorizamons, the promo. If I had them, this is what I'd cut for it. But since I don't have them, I'm running Chikurimon mainly for the security effect by Digivolving 1, getting around hybrids, because sometimes if you kill hybrids, like green hybrids or yellow hybrids, not yellow hybrids, mainly green hybrids. When you kill them, they play another level 4 hybrid from their hand, and it kind of gets around that, gets around deletion effects. Digivolving Justimon in the mirrors. The only thing it doesn't really do anything against is the D-Reapers. Like, it just, there's nothing to digivolve, so it's kind of a dead card against D-Reapers. You could change this out for Command-Dramons, because we do have some Dramon search in this deck, since we play some Mono Dramons. Let me get the glare off. There we go. There is some Dramon search with the Rio Tamer. We'll get to that in a little bit. So these could be Command Dramons if you wanted to. But I played Chikuri, and Chikuri's actually been doing just fine for me. And then going into some more Dramons, our blockers is the Seals Dramon. This is just a blocker that's searchable with the Rio. And then another blocker we play is we play two Mechanoris. These are both cyborg machines, so they're pitchable with the Hagurumon, regardless, blah blah blah, all that good stuff. Mainly, I play this for the pay for 4, and it's just there. We do play. We'll get to it in a little bit with our Tamer account. We do play the Tai Kamiya blacks, the black Tai Kamiyas. So these become 7Ks if there's one black Tai Kamiya, or 8K if they're both on the field. So it's really nice to have blockers, an 8K blocker that could just restand if it kills something, or an 8K blocker just period. And that's also searchable with Rio or Ryo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I think it's Ryo. And then moving on, we got 3 Grumblemons because we do play a lot of Tamers. This usually closes out our game by playing this on top of a Tamer and just swinging for game. It has, come up many times. Swing out with your Justimon, do a lot of damage, and then I'll get to it later. But there's a stack with Justimon. You gain them if you swing with it. You can gain a memory. You go up to 2 memory. Then you slap this on a Tamer and you go for game. So we play 3 just because we want to see it. I felt like 2 wasn't enough. And 1 definitely wasn't enough, but 4 was too much because you don't want to see too many of it. And our last level 4s is the Strike Dramon. This is also a Dramon that's searchable with the Rio. And this is the card that I said, this is in the stack, with the Justimon or whatever, you gain a memory. If you have 2 black Tamers or more in play. So, and then on Digivolving, reveal the top 4 at a black Tamer. So it's like the Monodramon, but Monodramon's on play at all black Tamers you see from the top 4. This just adds 1 when Digivolve. And then its effect, inheritable, again, when attacking once per turn. If you have 2 or more Tamers, you gain a memory. I think we're moving on to our level 5s. We play 4 Volcanomon. He's also a cyborg, so we can pitch it with the Hagurumon. If your opponent has an unsuspended Digimon in play, you get security attack +1. I kind of didn't really know what else to add here. I was thinking about Gogumamon with the Digiburst, gain 2K and stuff like that. But I didn't want to Digiburst away important things like Digibursting away a Strike Dramon or something like that. Or a baby, because the babies do come in handy. Sometimes that baby is the difference between if our Zubagons are alive or not. So the baby is just important. You kind of don't want to Digiburst nothing. So this was a good idea. Another thing that changed for this though, I forgot what it was. My buddy who got me into this deck told me, and I'm blanking out on it right now. I'll put it in the comment section if it comes back to my mind. If I remember, but this is still not a bad card at all. It makes your Justimon and stuff do a lot of damage if they have an unsuspended Digimon. And then our other level 5 is some more Dramon, Cyber Dramon. So since it's a Dramon, it's searchable with Rio. When Digivolving, you may play a Rio from your hand without paying its cost. And during your turn, it cannot attack unless you have a Tamer in play. So, Can attack players. So it can attack Digimon and kill something. It is a 10k, so it is a big body, which is I really like. And then it also has a 1 attack if you have 2 or more black Tamers in play. Digivolve 1, which is really nice. Also, that Digivolving, getting around a lot of deletion effects, and helps you get rid of problem cards without outright deleting them. And which I love. I love Digivolve. That's one thing that I like about black. That it Digivolves. And then our little supporter, level 6, which is also a cyborg. As y'all can see, that's a running thing in the deck for the Hagurumon. Although it's not the most important part of the deck. It's just there. It's it's doable. We play the reboot Metal Garurumon. I'm so sorry. Digivolving, Digiburst 2. Delete something with play cost of 6 or less. If there's nothing that was deleted, they trash the top card of their security. And then it's got reboot, of course. So normally you boost him enough, you swing. If he lives, he'll reboot. Trashing security with this is really nice. And then just going in for damage, sometimes using a Zubagon. It's just really nice. And then the man of the hour, the guy that the deck's centered around is Justimon. Let me take a minute to talk about Justimon. So Justimon, let me read this card real quick so I can read it word for word exactly. I don't want to screw anything up. When Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. And he has 3 effects you can choose from. This Digimon gains 2k for the turn. Unsuspend this Digimon, or delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 5 or less. When attacking once per turn, for each Tamer you have in play, that's why Tamers are so important in this deck. For each Tamer you have in play, activate this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. So when you swing, if you have 2 Tamers in play, you can activate 2 of his 3 effects. And you can choose the same effect twice if you wish. But you have to activate them all right then and there, since it is a once per turn when attacking. A neat little combo that I like to do, because he usually lives, is I'll evolve into the Strike Dramon, Cyber Dramon. I'll swing either at them or a Digimon, and then I'll play the Blitzmon on top of it. Not Blitzmon, Blitz Arm, which I'll usually set to the restand. And then if it's still my turn, he'll get to swing. And then I'll just pop off Digivolve, his effects. And I'll just really go ham and do a lot of crazy stuff with that. So it's really nice. Deleting blockers, at least blockers that are 5k or less. The gaining 2k for the turn really helps with making Zubagon live. Sometimes I'll swing, restand it, because normally I have at least 2 Tamers on board by the time I get him out. So I'll usually Digivolve, unsuspend, swing, and then I'll use his unsuspend, and then 2k. So the 2k gives him 13k, and then normally we'll have the baby underneath him as well, giving him 14k. And then I'll throw a Zubagon, and then swing with him again if I have enough memory, which makes his second hit do a lot of damage. So that's the Justimon. That's what this deck's made off of, popping him off. And then getting to the Tamers, we play 3 Kazu, Shioda. I'm going to start saying Mike Shinoda. Anyway, so start of your main phase. So that's not start of your turn. It's you draw, do your breeding step, and then your main phase starts. So keep in mind that it's not right when your turn starts. You'll gain a memory if you have a Digimon with Cyborg or Machine. So again, Cyborg Machines are important in this deck for multiple reasons, not just the Hagurumon. So if you have at the start of your main phase, so after your breeding step, you draw, you do your breeding step, and then it's your main phase. So at the start of your main phase, If you have a cyborg, or a machine in play, you gain a memory. So that helps. Excuse me. That helps with them choking you, stuff like that. Normally, you're gaining at least one memory. So they try to put you to one. This will put you to two. You can kind of start doing stuff with two memory. You really don't want to be set to one too much with this deck, though. Which is why I felt like the a Ty or Izzy is really important in this deck. Or even, definitely a Ty or Izzy, because the Izzy Joe Black Tamer, sometimes they're not going to have more than one Digimon on the field and still choke you. So it's nice to have a Ty or an Izzy. I play the Ty because I play the blockers, just to kind of make them beefier, and also make my Justimons beefier if they end up swinging out, and it just makes them harder to kind of be swung into. But you can definitely run the Izzy. You play nothing but black cards, Izzy will always proc and gain you that memory. But anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah. So I always want to you want to play a set of 3 Tamer, and then these will set you to make like one of these in a tie will set you to 4, and you can really pop off with 4. So that's and then have a second effect all turns. When one of your Digimon with Cyborg, let me adjust this a little bit. All turns when one of your Pokemon... Oh my god. I've been playing Pokemon a lot lately, so I apologize. When one of your Digimon with Cyborg or Machine and its traits becomes suspended, so that's all turns, which means on your opponent's turn, if you choose to block something, you can do this effect. On your turn, if you swing with something, you can do this effect as long as it's a Cyborg or a Machine. You tap this Tamer to draw 1 and then pitch 1. So that also helps you cycle through cards you don't need and hopefully draw something you do need. Anyway, moving on. Our next Tamer is the all-important Rio or Ryo. This is the card you could play for free with the Cyberdramon. On play, you reveal the top forward of your deck, add a card with Dramon, so this adds all of our Dramons. It adds our Mono Dramon, it adds our Strike Dramon, it adds our Seals Dramon, it adds our Cyber Dramon, and then of course it adds our Justimons. Add a Dramon or a Justimon among their names to your hand. Place the remaining Digimon at the bottom of your deck in any order. And then also it has a secondary effect during your turn. When you attack with a black Digimon, you may suspend this Tamer to have it gain 1k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So if you're swinging with a Justimon, swing with a Justimon, and you tap this after using all of his effects, of course. You tap this, it'll let's say just blank page. You don't use any of his effects. You swing and you just tap a Rio. He'll gain the 1k for the battle, and he'll keep the 1k even when you pass turn. So he's a 12k on your opponent's turn still, making him harder to swing into, which is what I really like. That it remains until the end of your opponent's next turn. I really like that. So that with the Tie Tamer makes them almost too powerful to swing into. So they kind of stay on the field, or they have to be deleted by card effects. And then our last 2 Tamers that we play are the Black Ties. Start to 3 if you have 2 or less memory. You can start. And then, excuse me again, opponent's turn, your Black Digimon get 1k. I gotta stop shooting these videos so late. I keep saying that, but then I keep doing it. Anyway. And then, of course, we play 2 Zubagons. We want to do maximum damage with our Justimons. Really, really hit hard. And then sometimes, if we don't close out the game by doing so, they'll be blocker. They'll reboot, and then there'll be a blocker for next turn. But if you don't know what Zubagon Punch does, this is what it does. So for 2 costs, You choose one of your Digimon. It gets 3k until the end of your opponent's next turn. So just like Rio, it carries over to your opponent's next turn. And then if that Digimon has 16,000 DP or more, it gains blocker, reboot, and security attack +1 until the end of your opponent's next turn. So this is a nice thing if you're trying to close out a game with your Justimon, or even if you stack it on top of a Cyberdramon and he gets strong enough, he gets over 16k, or the Metal Garurumon gets over 16k, anything. You go to close out the game with this with a security attack +1, and even if you don't close out the game, you reboot it, and then you'll still have a blocker for next turn. Hopefully you can survive, and then the following turn you can kind of just go in and finish what you started. And then our last options, I was really back and forth with what I wanted to use as my removal, my high level removal, I should say, because what's his name? Justimon deletes play cost 5 or lesses, and Metal Garurumon deletes play cost 6 or lesses, and then the Cyberdramon inheritable de-digivolves. So it kind of like you can deal with like high level stuff pretty easily with a de-digivolve, and then if it's a 6k or less, not 6k, a play cost 6 or a play cost 5, you just outright delete it. But for the higher end stuff, I was really going back and forth on what I wanted as my high level removal. Do I want Ultimate Flare, or did I want Iron Fist and Onslaught, or did I even want more defense? Did I want Breath of the Gods? And I actually ended up choosing to go with Iron Fist and Onslaught, and let me tell you my reasoning behind it. So it's actually very simple, but it's also complex of why I chose this. So the simple reason, there's some D-Reaper players at my locals, and Ultimate Flare just doesn't touch D-Reapers. Doesn't touch them at all. There's nothing to Digivolve. They don't have levels, so it literally does nothing to D-Reapers. It's good against Gallant Mons. It's good against what else? Hybrids. It's kind of because they just de-digivolve and they go back to Tamers. But this outright kills them. It can kill Reaper if you're going against the D-Reapers. It can kill Reapers if it's swinging, because it's a play cost 20. It's gonna be the highest thing on their field. It can kill Crimson Mode. It can kill any Omnimons that are a problem. It could kill most level 7s that are issues. It could kill just high level 6s that you want to get rid of, that you're just having a hard time getting over. Just stuff like that. So that's really the reason. Like I said, it's simple but complex. But the simple reasoning is that Ultimate Flare does nothing to D-Reapers, and almost nothing to blue and yellow hybrids, and red hybrids. And this kills Reaper, kills the D-Reapers, the D-Reaper, the Reaper from D-Reapers. It kills Chaos Gallant mode, not Chaos Gallant, Crimson mode. It kills Creepy Mon's a thing at my locals as well. It kills all those big nasty dudes that just sometimes de-digivolving it just doesn't cut it. And the same argument can be said for the other side. Sometimes you don't want to delete it because they have a nasty deletion effect, like Ophanimon, Fall Down mode. Or if you're playing the Cherubimon hybrid thing, because that's still kind of relevant, especially at my locals. There's a guy who plays it. Sometimes you don't want to pop their pinata, You want to de-digivolve it. So the same argument can be said for the other side, but I usually build my decks not based off of winning lists or things that are in the meta, like globally. I build it off of my locals because that's all I ever really play. And my locals has this answers more of my local decks, my locals decks. So all around, sorry I wasted 3 minutes explaining the card. Simplified, this deals with my locals meta for the most part. So that's why I chose to run that. Anyway, that is my Justimon Blitz Arm deck list. Set 10, we're getting a new Justimon. So I'll probably definitely upgrade this with that. Probably taking out the Metal Gurus for the new Justimon. But otherwise, this is a really fun deck. It actually does decent. I wouldn't say I'm going to be winning my locals with it, but it's definitely a contender. It definitely goes tit for tat with a lot of my locals' decks. Yeah, and like I said, I have a guy at my locals I'm good friends with. I guess he just loves Justimon because the dude's collecting them, and he's got, like, no joke, like 16 to 20 copies of this card. And I actually told him that I was going to build a deck with him, and he just threw me a playset of them for basically free. So I was like, dude, you know, if you're giving me a playset, I got to build the deck now. So I built the deck. Me and him talked about it on Facebook. We butted heads, decided what was better for what matchups for our locals and stuff like that. And I came up with this list. And like I said, really the only change I would do is changing the Chikuris out for Sunrises. That's really the only change I would do. Other than that, deck does fine. I actually played it against my friend today. I played Green Hybrids, updated with the Terriermon and Shiva. And he played this, and both games were really close. And then we swapped, and he played Green Hybrids, and I played this. And I won. So it's definitely a good deck. I don't know if I'm going to play it this Friday at my locals. We do have pre-release. So set 9, we might be doing set 9 stuff. And I don't know how this will do in set 9. I'm definitely going to be adding a couple things to it from set 9, and probably not too much. But anyway, so it's a really good deck. It's really fun. On a scale of 1 to 10 about how fun this deck is, I'd say a 9. It is so much fun to play. Another deck that I have, my favorite deck to play this format, and I'm only going to I'm going to kind of plug it real quick in this video. I'm not going to do a deck profile of it because with the exception of like 2 cards, it's Russell Lepar, I think is his name. It's his list. Minus I made room for another hybrid because he wasn't running this, he was running something else. So I made room for this just one hybrid, and I think I also made room. I'll just kind of throw it. He was running Argomon, and I swapped the Argomon out with this because, again, for my local meta, Argomon just doesn't hurt things, but this does with my meta. So those are the only 2 changes I've done. Other than that, it's Russell Lepar's list. So I'm not going to do a deck profile on this because it's just his list, and I'm not going to do that. And like I said, those are the only 2 changes that I made. Was I took out 2 cards. I took out Argomon and swapped it for this. I took out something and I added that. But anyway, this is my favorite deck to play. This is probably what I'm going to play Friday because this deck's going to be good. You know, it definitely comes down to Pilot. to piloting it and not making mistakes. But this deck is going to be good for the next couple of formats. I'm locking in my answer there. This deck is going to be good the next, at least until set 10. It's going to definitely be good still through set 9. So this is going to be the deck that I'm going to play mostly, but I'm not going to I'm not going to do a deck profile on it because it's just Russell's list, and I'm not going to take credit for any of that or get any views for that just because I changed 2 cards. It's not worth it. But next I'm probably going to do a yellow hybrid list. I don't know yet. I haven't tested it at all. It's really just theory crafted right now. But in theory, the yellow hybrid deck's going to be really good. So I'll probably test that out a little bit before the tournament Friday. And I'll let you guys know how it does. And I'll give you all a video on that if it does well. Again, sorry it's been so long since I made a video. Anyway, this one's running a little long, so I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna cut it off here. Thank you guys. Sorry I've been absent. I got more videos coming back at you coming up in the next couple days or weeks. So until next time, Limit Break TCG. Peace.